What is up, podcast, and welcome to the Raised Place Podcast Network. We have another amazing show for you today. Not only do we have a main guest coming on the show right now in a few seconds, there will be a guest co-host popping in probably in the middle of the show in just a few minutes here. Cadillac Stretch, Long Beach singer and songwriter Cadillac Stretch will be joining us on the show as well. This is going to be another one not to miss. But our main guest that's coming in right now, I'm super excited about. I've been listening to this guy's music over and over again since we hung out with Austin Hine the other day. The engineer Austin Hine, he recommended this guy, and I was like, yes, this guy's right up my alley. And we talk about the same things. We talk over the Instagram, and we love the same things. We love blues music. We love guitars. You're going to see his guitars on his wall. You're going to see Muddy Waters on his wall. You're going to see Robert Johnson, who I really wanted to get into with you. That's crazy. I can't wait to talk to this guy. Please help me welcome Mr. Derek Lee Goodreid to the show. Welcome, my man.
Thank you. Actually, it's Howling Wolf.
Howling Wolf back there. Okay. Nice. It's been a while. I'm going to get my blues education back on track tonight.
I wouldn't say I'm that blues educated, but I love who I love, and I love blues, country, rockabilly, all the great musicians and stuff from that era. So
it's crazy. Have you always been from Australia, or where you from originally, Derek?
Yeah, I'm from Australia. I moved to Norway for 10 years, learned Norwegian, and it messed up my accent a bit. So
you have like a halfway Australian, halfway Norwegian kind of accent there. I was like, where to go?
Yeah, it's weird because I get that when I'm here in Perth and I'm ordering coffee, and they're like, "Where are you from? Your accent's really strange." And I'm like, "I just grew up like 2 blocks from here." Yeah, really.
Like, you sound like you're from. Look, mate, you sound like you're from Norway.
Yeah, that was the worst Australian accent. That's out of English.
I won't do it again. I won't do it again. I'm horrible at
it makes me laugh though when Americans try to do Australian accents. It's so fun.
We're bad at it, right? Yeah, we're horrible at it. Man, oh my god!
But Australians are really bad at doing American accents, so it's fair.
well, maybe when you talk, but when you sing, you sound like a blues singer. If you guys want to hear him on Spotify, it's incredible. Let me try to share my screen with you and see if you can hear this. Hold on one second. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see that right there?
Yeah.
Cool. Let me see if I can play a piece real quick.
Oh, wow. It's jumped up in plays. That's really nice.
Yeah. So I'll try to play. Look, I'll try to play Born to Raise Hell from Derek, just to give you guys a sound of it, kind of a sample of his sound. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Nice. This is called Born to Raise Hell. And it's just that dark church heavy sound.
When I was born, the devil knew that I was born to raise hell and to sing the blues. That night my mama died and my papa left me at the crossroads to die. But through the mud and the blood, I was born to raise hell.
So that's a taste. I don't want to get you too much, guys. We got all show to go. So hold on. That is a little taste of Derek Lee and what he does. Freaking amazing, legit American blues, Southern sound. You can hear it right in there. A deep Southern sound, that church hymnal type sound, those punk rock. Am I crazy here to say there's some sort of punk rock influence with you, Derek?
Yeah, there's a lot of it. Actually, I'm a big fan of like Lemmy, like from Motorhead and things like that. Like I listened to everything when growing up. Like, I think Fugazi was one of my favorite punk bands growing up because I like their do-it-yourself attitude, and so I think that's where I love to create my own music. I promo my own music. I try to get my own shows. Try to do it all, which
independent.
Yeah, I love that independent streak and that and the power that Fugazi showed is that you can go a long way on your own back. You don't have to rely on the mainstream of, record labels and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's what I try to put into my own music is that grit and I think that shows in the music as well, like that punk attitude of doing it yourself. I mixed and mastered that song myself, but sometimes I go to Austin when it's a bit too much, and then but I try to do as much myself. But how do
you how do you get Austin? Austin's here.
Yeah, so I met him through Adrian White, who's a psychobilly, rockabilly guitar teacher on YouTube, but he's from Melbourne, and we both support Adrian on Patreon. And
what's his name? Adrian White.
Adrian White, yeah.
Adrian White, and he's a psychobilly singer.
Singer but guitarist. He can sing. He's a great singer as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he started off on YouTube doing psychobilly guitar lessons, and I was watching him in Norway when I was because
there's guitar lessons, there's blues lessons, there's like how to play Santana, but I didn't know there was a psychobilly guitar class. That's awesome.
Man. He kicks ass, man. He's like. Just when I hear him play, I'm just like, I just really want to play what he does, because he can play like Reverend Horton Heat type stuff.
I love Reverend Horton Heat. That freaking band.
Like Hologhost, Tiger Army, you name it, the Meteors, everything, right? Like he just plays it with such ease. Like it just makes me sick, but you're
like, bastard, you would have shown me how to do that right now.
But I struck up a friendship with him, and then on his Discord channel I met Austin, and we're talking about music and our love for punk music and metal, and I said to him that I was working on an album, but I was struggling with a few of the songs, mixing and mastering, just because I was trying too many things, and I was actually going through a pretty stressful time.
Sure.
I was moving house. I was having like some skin reactions on my tattoos and all sorts of weird shit. And
just from the stress, you think?
Yeah. Because after I sort of through a few things, it all fixed itself. But I think it was good to collaborate with someone as well, because I'd been so insular with my music. Working with Austin helped me just helped me become a better
Did he give you like direction kind of? Because I remember when we were talking to Austin, and we talked a lot about how awesome bands are, how creative songwriters like yourself are. And sometimes we just need like a direction or a focus, and sometimes engineers can do that for us. Did he give you that kind of help?
I think
we're like, no,
I think
my direction.
No, well, like the songs that are already been recorded and that sort of thing. I think Austin helped me clean up the sound, give it more of a commercial feel to it. Maybe not a commercial feel, but like just that cleaner, because Orange County is like, that sound is very clean, sort of vibe, like the who am I thinking of from Orange County, like the punk bands from there.
Well, look at the band that I the way I met Austin was from the band Forgotten Legion. Have you heard them?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. The reason why I totally got into that band was how clean it sounded. And we talked about it with we had Solanas on the show, the guitarist, and we talked like that's almost all we talked about, like how clean are the drums, like how clean are the freaking bass, like how clean are the guitars, and everything's like level. And then that's why I had to have Austin on the show, because he explained like how he got those levels. So so he was able to bring that for you then.
It was surprising. I had to re-record some of my guitar parts and things like that, which was really good for me. Even though it was stressful at the time, it was really good for me to take my playing up to another level, and to really think about things when I'm recording. Because people will use this whole thing of dirty blues, and I think sometimes it's an excuse to record poorly. And I didn't want that for this. Like, I mean, it sounds dirty and heavy, the album, but in a good way. Like it's still,
I think
it just has that extra sonic vibe to it. Yeah.
100%. Believe me, if Blind Lemon was alive today, he would want to record with Austin Hine. Like back in the day, they didn't have a choice. They were on the back patio. They had like like some sort of like faulty recorder, and back then it was vinyl. It was going to a vinyl processor or something like that. So it wasn't like they had a choice. It's technology's moving forward. Now we can hear these sounds the way they were made to be, clearly through the songs will remain the same, as Led Zeppelin says, but the sound is you're able to hear all the essence of that true Southern blues sound.
Yeah, exactly. I think, because when you listen to the old blues recordings, they can be quite difficult sometimes to get into it. You're like, but I think we've come leaps like so far with technology and stuff, and I think. Also, like when you're listening, you want people to listen back to it and not be sitting there going, that's a bit out of tune, or that, you can hear him knocking his acoustic guitar against a table or so, like when you're recording podcasts and you hear people like, do that shit. Like, man, I've had to clean up podcasts for people because they're like, slamming their coffee cups down in the middle.
You might have to do that to this show, because I do that a lot, and I move my mic. Watch this. I move my mic a lot. That's crazy, right? You would have hated yesterday. We had a guy here in the studio, and he had his kids here, and I had my kids here, and they're all playing during the whole show. And then my mom, like during some of the shows, she'll walk her dog through the studio to take her dog out to go pee and then come back. So it's it happens. That's the podcast life.
Yeah, it's life.
But not in the studio, not with Austin Hine. Getting that clean sound with Austin Hine is amazing. If you want to stomp your foot on some freaking solid wood, you're going to be able to hear it through the speakers, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't do that too.
No, but it's crazy. Let's hear another one. I want to hear another one. I don't want to not hear music in this show today. I want to hear Gone for Good. Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's share that real quick. Got that sick upright bass down, a rocking bass.
Letter from my heart, I've been meaning to send, filled with all the promises I've been meaning to mend.
It has all those elements. It has that kind of like Stray Cat sound, if you will, kind of like did you like the Stray Cats?
I love the Stray Cats. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it totally has that feel, that vibe, that walking bass. Here comes that coffee. Is that coffee coming through?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good job, Mia. Ming, that's right. Beautiful. That's the boss. So it has that kind of Stray Cats vibe. It's got that walking bass, which a few of your songs have that, which is killer. And then those lyrics, man, are awesome.
Thank you. Upright bass was a big thing I think 90% of my songs have upright bass, just because it has such a different feel to electric bass, and it's just it adds another element to the music. So
Yeah, I mean, if you try to play walking bass on a regular bass guitar, it might sound all right if you have some like some of those jazz strings. Isn't there some strings that don't have that kind of roughness to them? What are those called?
Uh,
they're soft wound, I think is what they're called.
So flat wound?
Flat wound. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So they can play and it sounds kind of like an upright bass. You can kind of fake it a little bit, but you're never going to get that full body, that walking style bass without a full on upright in wood.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the difference.
And that slap, the percussive slap doesn't sound the same on an electric bass. That sounds more like Chili Peppers kind of vibe, you know, that thing. But yeah, on upright, yeah, it's just,
you're right. Yeah, it turns into like a slap bass instead of like an upright bass sound.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's freaking awesome. Is there a huge movement for blues and rockabilly in certain parts of Australia?
Yeah, there is quite a following in it. It's just where you go. I know like Melbourne has a pretty strong rockabilly and psychobilly scene. Here in Perth, we have quite a few bands that are doing that, like Rusty Pinto, Johnny Law, the Rothhausers. There's quite a few good, really solid bands to listen to and musicians that are really bringing that sound. I think it's I think people just have this love of that sort of music, and I think I can't explain why it's still around to this day, but
well, that's going to be my next question, is like, how do you yourself, like let's start with how long have you been playing guitar? Like, when did you pick up the guitar?
When I was about 18, I picked it up after a breakup kind of thing, and wanted to just learn an instrument. And I was also going through, like, I was being bullied, all sorts of stuff. I was in a rap band before that, like when I was about 15, 16, and I was doing like emceeing, writing rhymes and stuff.
Oh, rap band?
Nice. Rapping and getting my chops up. But then I found that like when I stopped doing music with the guy, I lost all the music, right? So, and then I found like when I was in bands, they'd break up, and like, you know, being like the singer or the frontman, you'd lose the songs because the music was made by someone else. So then I was like, I need to hang on to the music. So I picked up the guitar because I found it was really cathartic for me to write lyrics and music, just to begin with, to write lyrics, because I was going through some shit when I was younger.
Sure.
I was repressing a lot of my memories from when I was a kid. And I didn't know at the time that I was dealing with CPTSD, like post-traumatic stress.
Wow.
A lot of people. It's called complex because I didn't deal with it when I should have when I was younger. So
they rate it as a complex.
Yeah. So then when I got older, like in my 30s, it just kind of went crazy. I started talking to myself out loud and having arguments and just stuff. I was like in the middle of like on a train ride. I just remember on a train ride in Oslo, and started shaking and started yelling because
out loud.
Yeah, like it started off as like I was really under a lot of pressure at the time, and just things weren't going my way, and
sure,
and it just came out like that.
So it was kind of a mental breakdown, right?
Yeah, I'd put it down to that. Yeah, I basically had held it in so long that I hadn't dealt with it.
A lot of people that listen to my show, a lot of teenagers deal with the same sort of things these days as well. And one of the things I always tell my guests is like, I don't want the fluff. Like the fluff doesn't help anybody. Like
No.
we try to keep it as real as possible. We had food hoodie on the show a couple days ago, and he talked about his issues with depression and social anxiety, and I spoke on some of the anxieties that I have as well, social anxiety and basically OCD and general anxiety disorder, which is what I have. Would you be okay just talking about what do you think some of your triggers were? Because we did talk about some of our triggers on that show. What do you think earliest memories of what you think, what were some of those? Because you had PTSD, that's like a trauma situation. So what were some of those things that you were dealing with?
Well, like I think it's probably to go to the root of what happened. Like, so when I was growing up, my granddad was an alcoholic and he used to like beat me and some of the members of my family. And I won't go into great detail in that.
No, but just that, that alone.
Yeah, like the feeling of powerlessness, and also growing up, I think like in Australia, I'm sure it's like this in America, there's this sort of macho thing of like, if you're a man, you have to hold it all in, you have to keep it together.
100%, bro. 100%. Yeah. My dad, he was the same. He was like, it was weird. It was like there was no like we're Mexican family, Mexicans especially, like we're like machismo. There's no like, you're crying. Why are you crying? You're crying? Come on. You're crying? Like, come on. Like,
I'll give you something to cry about or something like that.
It's really like, as emotional as we are as people, it's funny that we hold things like that in. It's crazy. So that was kind of the same way for you.
Yeah, man. Like, and so I just breathe. Breathe.
Take your time, brother. Don't rush.
Yeah. So, and then in high school, I dealt with bullying. So like I grew up really tall, really quick, but I was very awkward with it. And so I got picked on in high school because I was a big target and trying to
pissing me off earlier when you told me. I was like, I wanted to punch my wall. When you said
and
that
also,
you were getting picked up, I was mad.
And also the problem is I had a very religious family. Sure. Like my grandmother was super religious. My mom was super religious.
Like so what faith was it?
Pentecostal,
Pentecostal, okay.
Speaking in tongues and waving hands and
all
that sort of stuff.
They're really into the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And so my grandmother and my mom instilled that, turn the other cheek, don't, and that sort of stuff. But I just remember I forgive him. And then one day cracking and beating a guy so bad. Anyway.
So you ended up, because of your experience with violence, you ended up being violent to other people.
Yeah, it came out pretty hard and very scary as well. So that's some of the other stuff that I deal with, is that not only was I physically hurt, I put it out on other people, unfortunately. Like you could say they were asking for it because they were picking on me to begin with. Sure. But at the same time, like the way I responded was a lot more extreme than a normal it needed, like the situation needed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, but I think it makes sense if they knew you and they knew your history and the things that you've gone through. And that's the thing about kids are so stupid. Like they pick on people and they have no idea what they're going through. So at that time that they're picking on you, they didn't know the deep scars that you had internally, and then they're picking on you. It only makes sense that it would some sort of trigger would happen. You don't like that though. I liked what you said. You said it was kind of scary, or I think is what you said. You used the word. Because it's not you. Right from wrong. Obviously, you're a kinder person. You're a kind person. You're just reacting because of the traumas that you've been through.
Yeah, and I think so. Not getting the help I needed at a young age. I didn't get help until I was later in life, and that's it's good. like so if you're like someone in their 30s and 40s or 50s or whatever age, and you're going through this stuff now and you've kept it locked away like I did, go see someone, go talk to someone straight away. Like
Nice.
don't hold on to that, and don't be like, oh, it's too late for me, I'm too old, or anything like that. It's never too late to change and to grow. I really appreciate my psychiatrist who I'm seeing at the moment, psychologist, who I'm seeing at the moment. He's been phenomenal, and this last year I've had such a great turnaround, especially after several things not going my way, like being hit by a car, my dad breaking up.
You mean, wait, hold on right there. Because that doesn't happen all the time. Some people get hit like in a car accident. You got like physically hit by a car like as you were walking?
Yeah, I was walking home and just from a local cafe, and this guy was driving out of his driveway and he wasn't watching, and he was coming out pretty fast.
Oh my God.
And I just, rolled over his windscreen basically and cracked it. And
So he hit you pretty hard. You cracked the windshield?
Yeah, but I got up. It must have been adrenaline, because I got up and sort of walked myself off, and I made him take me to the hospital, but there was nothing broken at the time, or not nothing broken. But when I got home, started having like severe pain in my shoulder, and it was from muscle, so like soft tissue damage. Yeah, soft tissue damage in my shoulder. And I started having back problems and all sorts of stuff afterwards. So it was like I've been seeing a physio for most of this year, and since the accident, and taking pain medication and stuff to get through it, and just being careful not to get hooked on pain medication, and and also dealing with the depression of it, because I was starting to, because I'd broken up with the band that I was in, but that's a story for another time.
How long was that band together?
About a year, but one of the guys was a narcissist, and I just couldn't be in that. Like with the dude, it was like very strange.
Narcissist means like you want all the attention, right?
Yeah, it was weird because, oh man, I don't want to talk shit about people, but this guy was a piece of work, and just glad not to be in that situation anymore. That's as much as I'm going to say about that.
Cool.
Yeah, but
by the way, only one person in Australia listens to the show, so you're safe.
Nice.
And I think that's you actually.
Yeah, it is. I was like, oh, Austin's on this. This is cool. But yeah, I just going through a lot of personal stuff. I lost a lot of friendships over the last couple of years and stuff, because I've really had to just focus on getting myself right, and getting my life back in order. After the relationship I had in Norway, after 10 years, broke up, and I had to leave behind my now 7-year-old son in Norway.
So you were married before, and you guys got a divorce, and the 7-year-old stayed back?
Yeah.
Was it a boy, girl?
Boy, Benjamin Phoenix.
Awesome.
A beautiful, beautiful boy who loves to sing and loves to tell jokes and loves dinosaurs and, all the kid stuff, and just a very sweet boy. Gives hugs, and
it's awesome, man.
But I do keep touch with him on through Zoom and Facebook Messenger and stuff, and yeah, we talk every week, and I send him videos, just silly videos of me reading Aesop fables, and
nice.
And he's gotten into Alice in Wonderland, so I started reading some of that to him. So yeah, even though these situations aren't perfect, I've still managed to find with music has been my thing that's helped me deal with a lot of my emotions and a lot of my stuff that is a good and constructive way of getting all this out into the world. Like, a lot of people hold it in and, then one day they snap and, hurt themselves. And I can't even say the word, but you know what I mean? Like,
you've been through it.
They give up, right? They give up on life and they, get stuck into drugs or, commit suicide or whatever, because it's too hard. And I think for me, having music or having something like that has helped me deal with that stuff. And also getting support and help from professionals, of course. But I think all of it's been good. And I really encourage people that if you've got that sort of stuff going on, your life's not going how you want it, find help and find a thing that helps you get all that stuff out, whether it's sport or music or art, like in any shape, form or fashion, just do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Great. Well said, my brother. No, I think that it's crazy how like how you kind of like attract like the same kind of people. Like I have anxiety, Food Hoodie has the same issues and stuff. You have those issues. But it's really cool how my show started to develop, and it's all about passion, like what people have the passion for, whether it's music, it's cooking, it's sculpting, artists, foodies. And it was crazy how like the hood foodie told me, like, he's like, I asked him, like, how did you get into the, like, he's like 22,000 followers, which for me, that's huge. 22,000 followers
that's
on
huge,
Instagram. That's huge. So I was like, how did you get into like being a foodie and being like recognized and taking pictures? He's like, from the like that show found me. So he was like, I was going through so much depression and so many issues mentally and drinking so much that I needed to find, same thing for you. Like he needed to find an outlet for the things that he was going through. And so he started taking pictures during COVID. Everybody's kind of at home doing nothing. So it makes I think a lot of people's issues just came to halt right at the COVID time, like 2020, 2022, you're stuck at home and people are starting to get depressed. That's exactly what happened to Food Hoodie. And then he started taking pictures and started going to restaurants, and it brought him out of his shell, because that's a lot of times we like kind of cave ourselves in. And for you, it's the same thing. It's the music gets you that outlet. And especially something like the blues, man. It's like, that's what the blues was for in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I when I first started though, I was really into like folk music, like, Jeff Buckley and Iron and Wine. But then when I did a gig, I was first up, and then afterwards I went out there, and there were the act that followed me was a rockabilly band called Rex Hepper. And I was like, oh man, I feel this so much more. And people were dancing and moving. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, I've been so focused on like moving people's hearts, like in the music, that I forgot about moving people's feet, like, moving their bodies, right? Like, because music is not just about it's not just one thing or the other. I think if it physically makes you, click your finger, tap, clap, all that kind of stuff, there's like a next level to how it reaches people and grabs people. So then I got really stuck into the blues, listening to the blues while I was in Norway and writing songs and going to see. I joined the blues club over there, and it was a really great social thing as well. Shout out to y'all and the Three Bastard Blues band. Blues club. They're like in Norway and here in Australia as well. They've got blues clubs, and they just specifically cater for blues bands and stuff. But I do remember Jarl's stuff was he had blues, but like within that there was room for country and rock and stuff like that. And that's the other thing that I really dug about that, is that blues is a great music, but then when you add other elements of music like country, rockabilly, metal, also punk, it takes on a new shape and form. Like so I really dug into that, and I really dug into making more upbeat songs and playing to faster tempos. I mean, I do some slower songs still, but I started to think a bit outside the box. And I think if you listen to the Shakes towards the end, I actually go from rockabilly to like this metal breakdown, and then it goes into a jazz beat. And I was just playing
Shakes?
around. Yeah, the Shakes, that's on the Love
album. Let me check that out real quick.
Yeah, I think it's like within the last minute of the song, it switches up, and I was just learning to play with music and play with genre and just have fun with it. And I think, but that came from the blues. Like the blues is just, there's so much variety in blues in itself. Like, you know, you've got Chicago blues, you've got Delta blues, you know, and country blues and all that kind of stuff. And that's how I think of blues, is how can I be more creative within that, and not limit myself just to 12-bar blues or a formula. Like in even in Born to Raise Hell and Sing the Blues, the bridge is a metal like a distorted metal guitar.
That's awesome.
And it's like, sing those goddamn blues, boy.
But it's still got that blues, blues lyrics, but it's metal. Like, it's really awesome. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, I mean, but that's the same thing that blues musicians were dealing with in the past, was like, they were in the South, a lot of them in the South. They were listening to hymnals from church. They had those gospel rhythms in the back. Also, one of the things that I don't think people realize, and people might think I'm crazy when I talk about this, but these are Africans, most of them coming from slavery coming to America, brought here by slavery. Their ancestors brought here by slavery. Some of those same rhythms, those from Yoruba, and some of those African rhythms that are there in Africa, those 3/2 type of Cuban rhythm, like now I call them Cuban because they got to Cuba as well as America, and throughout the islands here, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all the different Caribbean islands. All the African people that came here from the dysphoria of slavery, they have that religion in them. They have those Yorubaism, and a lot of it's 3/2. It's like,
yeah, definitely.
Right?
Actually,
and then the blues come to that, right?
Yeah, I actually came across the Mars Volta. I was watching their latest single, and they actually incorporated some of that. If I can remember the song, I'm just checking. But it actually it transitions from the typical Mars Volta prog rock into this African rhythms and stuff. And it's just, I was just like, damn, that's really amazing how they've done that. And it's going back to the roots, right? Like of music, and
100%
honoring it. I think that's a great way of honoring it. And I love, I don't see when I play with stuff and add stuff in, I don't think it's takes away from the blues. I'm trying to make it or enhance, like, you know what I mean, like taking it to another level, like honoring what's come before and then adding my own lens or my own spice to it.
Yeah,
makes sense, you know, like,
I think I know what you're saying, and tell me if I'm understanding you correctly, because there's two ways you can go about it. You can pay homage to the music and continue the tradition, with your with still your like your lens is what you called it. And then the second option is like, I'm going to take it and twist it and make it my own and make something entirely new, which you could do. And that, well, let's give you an example. Led Zeppelin, the way they took the blues and made it to this killer 70s rock, which then becomes heavy metal.
Yeah.
So
and then there's a third one, which is the one that I'm not a fan of, is where they recreate the sound exactly to what was played before, and get really harsh about, like, you know what I mean, like
really strict.
Yeah, I don't love that, because there's no room to change and to grow and to have individual expression. Like, oh no, that's probably not the right word, but I've come across people who just want to listen to how it was exactly on the recording. And I'm like, well, that's not physically possible firstly. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, I've come across people like that who are just very, like, they don't want to hear anything else, you know, like I would think of Led Zeppelin as sacrilegious, you know, like
100%.
Taking something, you know, like, so yeah, so there is that third, that
like, keep it 12 bar, we're out of here.
Yeah. Keep it the same thing we've heard every other time. And that's that. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, so it can. I mean, I think you fall in that middle range where you're paying homage to the music, and you're having that same sort of expression that they had back then. If you look at Ray Charles, he rhythm and blues and the gospel was in there, but he also liked country music because he was from the country. A lot of these folks are from the country, and they hear these twangy sounds, and it starts to influence them. So you have this rhythm and blues thing happening. You have blues musicians being influenced by country. You have country musicians being influenced by the blues, and then everybody's you got this conglomeration happening, and all this music that's coming out of the South is moving up into Chicago and New York, of course, and eventually, of course, into Los Angeles. And that's what you're doing. You have a lot of, like, when you listen to your stuff, you're like, dang, this is like a sick blues. And then all of a sudden it switches into like this Stray Cat thing. And then all of a sudden the vocals come in and it's like, damn, it's like this punk rock, like, I don't know what. And it's all there. All those elements are there. And it's like dope. It's like, dude, that's totally like paying homage at the same time, just like hardcore is the word I want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I won't disagree with you.
That's awesome. Did I hit it on the head?
Oh man, but you said it way better than I could.
Nice. Let's listen to another one. Let's see here. I want to hear another one. Let's hear the Shakes. You said it was towards the end where it gets crazy?
Yeah, probably like the last minute. Like,
baby, let's go.
What was that?
You just go a bit lower and you can fast forward it.
Let me see here. Hold on 1 second.
Just lift the window up.
This one?
Yeah, if you just go up a little bit, because I can't quite see it. No, not share. Just move the window up so you can see like the controls.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
This right here, probably, huh? Oh, there we go. We got everything.
Yeah, just on the bottom there. Yeah,
there we go. Good thing you can see this. Let's see where we go. And you want to turn it a little lower?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's back. It's back. It's probably.
It's back more?
Yeah.
Is it like a bridge or something?
Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Go back a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Nice. So that's the little like kind of crazy
metal breakdown.
Yeah, got a little germs action there or something like that. Oh, man, that's funny. That's awesome.
That was a lot of fun recording that because when I was doing the shakes, I was doing this with my cheeks, like this, just messing around. It was so much messing around with that. So yeah,
it came through, right? Does that it had the sound, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man,
yeah,
crazy. And this, so man, it's crazy. And again, the album is super clean. It's engineered by Austin. A lot of good stuff. Let's see here. You were telling me before COVID, were you touring around other parts of Australia?
I was getting geared up to actually. Like I was
Man.
I just booked my first gig, which was going to be at the Perth Blues Club, and then I was planning on going to Melbourne and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, COVID hit, and I was like, I'd finally got my shit together, man, because I'd been got back from like Perth, and worked to get all my gear, get all my stuff together, get myself together, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go and tour. And then it's like, oh, dude, your gig's been cancelled.
Everything's closed.
Everything's been cancelled. We'll get back to you. So I was like, fuck.
Damn.
And then, so now I am, looking to tour again and do gigs and, get into it. But, yeah, I'd even planned to go to Nashville, but that died because of COVID. But
Nashville, yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So I think now that things are kind of winding down, and I think I'm hoping towards the end of the year I start towards the
end of the year. Is Australia kind of loosening up? I know Australia is a strict country when it comes to COVID. Is it kind of loosening up a little bit?
Yeah, it has now. Because I'm from WA, we had the strictest rules when it came to COVID, and it paid off for us because we didn't have an outbreak and fill up all our hospitals, and and there's some people that are unhappy that we did all that, but at the end of the day, we've had less deaths and less health, like people with health problems. So I think
in your area it worked.
Yeah, I think because WA is like Perth is the most isolated city in the world. So like the zombie outbreak will be the last one.
You'll be the last to get that. You'll be the
knock
last
on wood, unless it starts here and then. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of bands don't come to Perth like from the US because it's too far away or whatever. But
how far is it from Melbourne?
I don't know, but the problem is on the East Coast you've got Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. All right, so you got like 3 big cities. So if you're a band from the States, that's a lot easier to deal with.
Makes more sense. Just hit all those along the coast.
Yeah, and then head back home. But those that do come out, we're very appreciative.
Well, if you're a band out there and you want to get crazy, go out to Perth. They're dying for live music out in Perth.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, but on the flip side of it, we do have a strong music scene in WA because of that. I think because we also, because we're in the middle of nowhere, we kind of influence ourselves with music and we have a pretty strong music scene, and I'm pretty proud of being part of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there could be like yourself, like these golden artists that are like hidden gems out in Perth that nobody hears.
There's a lot. There's a lot,
Yeah.
man. Definitely. And yeah, yeah, keep an eye out because there's always more coming. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I don't know how I would compare it with the States. Like, is there like a place that's really isolated but just has some really great talent coming out of nowhere? You know, sort of thing.
Memphis, when all the stuff back in the 60s and 50s and all that stuff like that, you had all the places like, you know, people like Elvis coming out of there and different bands and Johnny Cash and all those things. And,
Yeah.
you know, you have all those small towns that have happened, or those are history. They go back in history, the 50s, 60s, all the way up into the 70s. Muscle Shoals area, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the stuff that you do now with the blues and all this, that where all that stuff comes from. Those are those areas in the Americas that have that American blues sound. And then of course you get into jazz and New Orleans and different things like that, and funk, hardcore funk. If you get a chance, get out to New Orleans and spend like a week there, bro. I've done it. I spent like 2 weeks out there, and just the funk. You will come out of the airport out going home with the funk all over you, like in your soul. You'll just be funky,
whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, you be funkified because you eat burgers over there that are funky. You eat everything. Awesome. The jambalaya over there is funky. The biscuits are funky. The music's funky. You'll understand funk if you go to New Orleans. I'm telling you that.
That's cool.
Right now, it's freaking amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of little places, but what's helped open it up though is YouTube. Like, do you get a lot of action on YouTube?
I'm not using YouTube as much as I would like. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like a lot of new artists that I've come across, it's usually on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even with Adrian, I hadn't heard of his band before until and his own music until I found him on YouTube. So yeah, there's definitely something to be said about jumping on YouTube and finding appeal, like people finding you. Yeah, I've had luck with Spotify and getting put on playlists and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely, use what you can. And the good thing is YouTube doesn't limit you to your country. You could be a big star on YouTube, but no one knows you in your own hometown and things like that. Like that's what blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of people are able to use YouTube. I mean, before you would have to wait till somebody came to Perth and discovered you and then took you on an airplane to America, get you recorded, and then make you a superstar. And then you'd be signed to a major label. Now you can pretty much produce yourself like you've been doing, like you said in the beginning, you like to do independent. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And I would say to people, don't chase after getting a record label. You can do more yourself and have more power to do your own stuff and to do it the way you would like, rather than having to change your sound, how you look, all that kind of stuff. Do as much as you can before someone comes along, or just continue doing your own thing, and you'll always have the the power that you want over what you create, which is I think that's a nicer way to go in a lot of respects, definitely.
And now it's more simpler. It's like it's almost in the artist's hands now. It's not hoping Capitol Records will come around or hoping another record company to come around. It's now in the hands of the artist. Like the artist gets the money, the artist gets the recognition that they should be getting. Everything goes back to the artist. If you're on Epidemic Sound, like where I get a lot of my music for videos and stuff like that, and you create a deal with Epidemic Sound, the artist gets paid for every time somebody downloads their music on Epidemic Sound. And if back in the day, if we wanted to put out an album, we'd have to go to the studio, record it, go to another studio, have it mastered, go to another building and have them press CDs for you when they had CDs, and then you'd be able to sell those. Now you just basically upload your music to Spotify and everybody in the world can hear it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also like back in the day, if you were on a record label, the record label would pay for you to go to the studio. Then your recordings would be on a master, which they would own. And then you would have to pay back the record label. So you wouldn't even see any money until after you'd paid back all the money they've used to promote you and to record your album. You know, like that's not a good deal.
Yeah, the power was in the corporation's hands.
Yeah.
You'd have to pay back all that money for studio time and rehearsal.
And you still wouldn't control your master tapes. Like, yeah, the thing that you actually created and you know, put your soul onto was owned by someone else. And that's, you know, you might be lucky enough to get a deal where you get them back after a certain amount of time. But yeah, generally that wasn't the case. So
now the new master is an NFT. You create the NFT.
Yeah.
You can own the whole thing.
Yeah. I still not clued up on enough on NFTs, but yeah.
Oh, it's a rabbit hole, bro. You don't want to go down it. Listen to a couple of my shows about NFTs. They go, they're like an hour and a half. Those things are crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, when you get back out here, you got to get to Nashville. Then maybe we'll play out. And if you get into LA, make sure you get a press pass.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah,
sure,
I'll come and see you and join you in person. That would be cool.
Dude, that would be sick. Coming to the studio and recording the studio right here.
Yeah, and even catching up with Austin, like, and recording over there or something. I don't know, man. I would really just like to get on a plane and go somewhere.
That would be, you know, what'd be sick is if we got you in a studio with Austin and have him do the sound, and I'm interviewing you and you're playing, just like we're doing right now on the Zoom, but in studio with killer sound the way Austin does it, and killer mics and everything like that, and me interviewing you and having you play like full song, you know what I mean, live.
Yeah, that would be sick. Definitely.
That'd be sick, dudes. You got to do that. Cool, man. Well, guys, if you want, first of all, thank you, Derek, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's like morning to afternoon there right now, right?
We're just about hitting lunchtime.
Nice. You got to go get yourself a burger, my man. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Thank you for spending the time with me.
Thank you. I've had a good time.
You're awesome, dude. We'll talk. Keep in touch. Keep in touch on the Insta, on the DMs, bro. Guys, thank you for listening to the show. If you want to find Derek Lee, you can find Derek Lee on Instagram, Derek Lee Goodreid. Derek Lee Goodreid, all together, DerekLeeGoodreid. Derek Lee Goodreid on Instagram. Do you have a website, Derek?
Yes, DerekLeeGoodreid.com. And I have to finish. Oh no, it's finished, but yeah, I'm tinkering with it at the moment. DerekLeeGoodreid.com. It is live today on the Insta, or on the interwebs. It is under construction, and he's tinkering with it, but it is working. And you got merch and stuff like that. They can buy a Derek Lee t-shirt. Not yet, but I'm working on that.
Nice.
Check me out on Bandcamp. I'm going to be putting up merch and stuff. I've finally got some CDs printed of The Love. So I'm going to be putting them up on Bandcamp. If people are still listening to CDs, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how we would put the CD in the computer right here. I don't know. We have to slide it in the back. I don't know if it goes underneath.
But there's some, like, if you're like me and have an old car with a CD player, then yeah.
Look at Cadillac's coming in. Let's say hello to Cadillac real quick. Cadillac, are you with us now? He's into the show, but Cadillac's coming in to say hello real quick. Cadillac, are you there? Cadillac, come in. Roger. Red Rooster to Red Robin. Come in, Cadillac. Are you there?
I'm in here.
What's up, Cadillac? What's up, Stretch?
What's going on? I'm trying to get my mic, my visual going. I don't know how to do this.
That's all right, man. We were just saying our goodbyes, but I wanted you to say hello to Derek real quick from Australia.
Oh, yeah. Fellow musician. I was rocking with your stuff, man. I like it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Derek.
that.
This guy is a true singer-songwriter from LBC. This guy knows how to sing. He can rap, everything. This guy's legit. So if he says he likes it, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's from the soul. I play with a band too. So all your stuff live. I like that, man, for real.
Yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome, yes, brother. Sir. Hey, Derek, thank you so much again for coming in. Again, follow DerekLeeGoodreid.com. Follow Derek Lee Goodreid on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you follow him on Stretch. Stretch, what's your Instagram?
Always rich with an E. So always rich.
Always rich with the E. See?
Yeah. Always rich.
And he's coming in, and this is not the last time he's coming in. Stretch is coming back for another show. He's going to be my co-host all the time. He does videography and stuff like that. Make sure you check out his Instagram because he does videography, he does photography, he does recording. This man does a lot of stuff. Whatever he needs to do, he's hustling all day long.
Yeah, that's
cool, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I want to thank my listeners as well. I want to thank my sponsor, Jeremy Alvarez, the actor from Orange County. This guy's an awesome actor. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. If you guys want to sponsor the show, you can actually click on that support button there in the description. We'd love to have you sponsor the show. For as little as $1 a month, you can sponsor the Race Place channel. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great one.